What is up, guys? We are back in New York City and it's already starting to snow a little bit. But anyways, it is so good to be back in the city, and today we're talking about one thing that's holding you back from success. It's probably something you haven't thought of before, so I hope you guys like the video. All you need is one graph. Let me show you. I'm gonna pull up my iPad, Apple Pencil. So this graph technically represents the law of diminishing marginal utility. I know that sounds super complicated, but it's actually really simple and really helpful. It applies to a lot of things, but to explain this graph, I'm going to use the example of camera gear. If you're thinking about becoming a photographer or filmmaker, you might think that the more money you spend on camera gear, the better your content will get. And that's true to some extent, but it's not what you think. If we put money on this axis and value on this axis, you might think that the graph goes something like this, that the quality of your content will exponentially increase as you spend more money on camera gear. Or you might think it's linear, but it's not. The graph actually looks like this. The more you spend on camera gear, the less value you get per dollar over time. If that doesn't make sense, let me just show you. Let's compare cameras. The image you're looking at right now is coming off of a $30 webcam. I know it looks terrible, but technically this is better than filming on a literal potato. You are getting an image, you are getting audio, and this is the starting point. Now the image you're looking at right now is coming out of a Canon Rebel T5i. Now with the camera, the lens, everything included here costs about $700. As you can see, there is a huge difference from that $30 webcam to this $700 setup. Now the image you're looking at is coming off of a $1,000 setup. This is the Canon 80D, and you can get the camera, lens, everything included here for about $1,000. Now we just jumped $300, and you do get more features with this camera, but can you tell the difference in the image? This is where you start to see what I'm talking about. As you spend more on these cameras, the differences become less and less noticeable. And this image will cost you about $3,500 to get. Right now we're using the Sony a7 Mark III, which is a $2,000 camera, and a Sony lens, which is $1,500. This camera setup costs 3 times as much as the last camera setup you were looking at. But can you really notice 3 times the amount of quality? This is the $30 image. This is the $700 image. This is the $1,000 image. This is the $3,500 image. Is this starting to make a little more sense? Let's go back to the graph. We see all the YouTubers and influencers with their $1,000 setups, and we think we can never create content like them. We see them at the top of the graph and we think it's unreachable, but it's not. I said this back in the first vlog I made a few months ago when I was just getting inspired to really make YouTube videos. The hardest part of achieving anything is just starting. When you decide to make that leap and spend $500 on your first camera, you go from creating nothing to actually creating a video, putting it out there and adding value to the world. And as you upgrade your gear over time, the quality of your videos will increase, but it's that first leap that makes a huge difference. The same thing applies for editing a video. I can complete about 95% of the editing for one of these YouTube videos in about an hour. It's that last 5% that takes so much longer to finish those finer details. But that last 5% usually doesn't matter. That's where I get bogged down in the color grading, the titles, the sound effects. But when we think about making videos, a lot of times those are the things that we feel like we're not good enough to do. Those are the things that scare us away from trying. So what's holding you back from success? You're probably too worried about all those little things that successful people do that don't matter. You're worried about the people who are spending all of this money, but you forget about all the value you can create with a small amount of money. Gear isn't the most important thing. In filmmaking, story is the most important thing. And in your life, you need to identify the things that actually matter, and then take that first step. Now, whatever popped into your head just now, that thing that's been in the back of your mind for a while, that project you've always wanted to do, that job you've always wanted to apply for, or that person you've always wanted to talk to, pause this video right now and go do it. Seriously, guys, I have all day. But for real, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got anything out of this, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And let me know if I should keep making videos like this, where I share things that I've learned about creativity and productivity and stuff like that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.